It started with a ping, that crisp, metallic sound of a new group chat lighting up in the dark. Maya grinned, sprawled across her dorm bed, typing the name. Dorm life, unfiltered, with a half laugh. Within minutes, the chat exploded. Memes, GIFs, emojis, and the chaotic warmth of belonging. For a moment, it felt like college finally made sense. A place where loneliness could be muted by a single message. They shared everything. Class rants, late-night cravings, even crush confessions. It was wild, unfiltered, and real. But beneath the laughter, there was a strange undertow. A sense that someone wasn't just participating, but watching. Screens glowed in the dark, and with every unread message, trust began to quietly stretch thin. Curiosity questions who was the first to realize the chat wasn't as private as it seemed. What secret got shared that no one was supposed to see? When did fun start turning into fear? By the next morning, Dorm Life Unfiltered had already turned into their digital living room. Jordan dropped memes faster than the chat could react. Priya shared notes from last night's lecture, and Maya couldn't stop smiling at how easily everyone clicked. It felt like family, but one without rules. There was a thrill in saying things you'd never say out loud, like testing the limits of trust. Evan rarely typed, only reacting with a smirk emoji or a cryptic. It made him hard to read, yet somehow magnetic. The chat wasn't just connection, it was escape. Until one message, a joke that went a little too far, made the group pause for the first time. The group kept the chat alive through every class, every dull moment. Maya's phone never stopped buzzing. Between classes, she scrolled and smiled, until she noticed one message was gone, deleted. A tiny gray line. This message was removed. She laughed it off, but her gut tightened. Deleted messages meant secrets, and secrets meant someone was hiding something. That evening, Evan finally spoke, or rather, typed. We should play Truth or Dare, text edition. The chat erupted in excitement. Everyone knew how wild those games could get. Maya hesitated but joined in, fingers hovering as the first truth question hit. What's the worst thing you've done that no one knows? The energy shifted, playful but charged, and as the truths began spilling out, someone, no one knew who, quietly took screenshots. The night ended with laughter that didn't sound quite real. Maya lay in bed, replaying the game in her mind. Everyone had shared something. Some truths shocking, some funny, some too raw to joke about. She checked the chat one last time before sleeping. A new message appeared, anonymous. Don't worry, I kept receipts. Her chest tightened. It wasn't just a message, it was a threat. One hidden beneath a smiley face. By the next week, Dorm Life Unfiltered wasn't just a chat. It was a world of its own. Messages flew in at all hours, full of jokes, secrets, and little glimpses of lives no one else saw. But something had shifted. People started double-checking what they sent. Jordan's usual humor softened. Priya typed slower, and Maya caught herself deleting drafts before hitting send. It was subtle, but it was there. The quiet fear that every message might someday be read out loud by someone who wasn't supposed to see it. Jordan tried to bring the fun back. He sent memes, inside jokes, voice notes full of laughter. Everyone reacted, but the energy felt wrong. No one laughed the same way anymore. Priya texted less, and Evan's messages grew weirder. Short sentences that hinted at things no one said aloud. That afternoon, a rumor spread through the campus. Something about a leaked message thread. No one dared to mention it in the chat, but everyone thought the same thing. Was it us? By evening, Dorm Life Unfiltered was silent. Not a single ping. Maya scrolled up through old messages, reading what they used to sound like. Carefree, loud, full of love. Now, Every word looked different. She remembered Evan's last text. Not everything disappears when you delete it. She told herself it was just one of his weird jokes, but deep down she knew. Someone still had the screenshots. Priya finally broke the silence. "Can we talk in person?" she texted. Everyone agreed to meet at the campus cafe. The moment they sat down, it felt different. Eyes darting, smiles forced, laughter delayed. They were friends, but now they were suspects. Evan arrived last, sliding into his chair with a calm smile and no explanation for why he'd been quiet. When Maya asked if he'd heard about the rumor, his answer chilled the table. People only spread what's true. That night, the group chat came alive again, but not from them. An unknown user joined. No one had added them. The username was blank, just a gray circle. Then came the first message. Screenshots. One after another, their private words filled the chat, twisted out of context. Heartbeats quickened. The silence that followed wasn't digital. It was personal, crushing, and real. The screenshots spread faster than anyone could stop them. By morning, half the campus had seen pieces of their private chat. Jokes ripped from context, confessions framed as betrayals. Maya's phone wouldn't stop buzzing with notifications, each one another nail in their social coffin. Jordan's messages looked the worst. Harsh jokes now painted as cruelty. Priya's texts were twisted into hypocrisy. Maya's own messages, vulnerable and honest, were shared like gossip. The group chat that once felt safe now felt like a crime scene. Someone had turned friendship into evidence. Jordan stormed into the dining hall, his phone clutched tight, rage breaking through his usual charm. Everyone he passed seemed to know something. He spotted classmates showing each other screens. Laughter mixed with pity. He opened a dorm, life unfiltered again. Messages still flooding in, the anonymous user silent now, but their damage complete. Jordan typed a furious reply, demanding to know who leaked it. No one answered. Only the scene receipts glowed beneath his words. Priya tried to do damage control. She texted everyone she trusted, explaining, defending, pleading, but every message felt like it made things worse. People had already decided what to believe. Someone posted screenshots on the campus forum, an anonymous account, again. Priya sat in the library corner, hiding behind her laptop, tears gathering as she scrolled through hateful comments. She thought about deleting her social media. Instead, she opened the group chat and typed, "We need to find who did this." No one replied. That evening, Maya, Jordan, and Priya met in Maya's dorm room. Phones silent, the air thick. No one trusted anyone anymore. Jordan accused Evan. Priya defended him, said it didn't make sense. Maya just listened, her thoughts spinning faster than her heartbeat. She replayed the last few days. Evan's weird quiet. The screenshots' perfect timing, the anonymous account. It all fit too easily. When Evan finally knocked on her door, the silence broke like glass. Evan stepped inside, calm as ever. "You think it was me?" he said quietly, eyes scanning their faces. No one spoke. Maya wanted to shout, to demand answers. But the way he looked at them, steady, almost pitying, made her hesitate. "I didn't leak anything," he said. But maybe the truth should have come out. His words hung heavy in the air. For the first time, Maya realized this wasn't about exposure. It was about control. And someone was enjoying watching them fall apart. Days passed, but the tension didn't fade. The group stopped talking in dorm life unfiltered. Too afraid, too exposed. Maya barely slept, haunted by the sound of notifications she no longer received. Every vibration made her flinch. She started noticing Evan everywhere. Outside her dorm, near the cafe, scrolling on his phone with that same unreadable calm. She didn't know if he was guilty or just watching the chaos he helped create. The silence between them was louder than the pings ever were. Jordan couldn't take it anymore. His reputation was gone, and whispers followed him everywhere. That night, he stormed into the computer lab and started digging. Old message backups, deleted screenshots, anything. He found something buried in the chat's data. A hidden link from the night of the leak. It didn't lead to Evan. It led to Maya's account. For a second, he just stared, unsure whether to believe what he saw. Betrayal had a new face. He confronted Maya the next morning, in front of the dorm staircase. His voice shook, part anger, part disbelief. Maya's world tilted as he showed her the link. "That's not me," she said, her voice breaking. "Someone used my login." Priya tried to calm them, but her eyes flickered with doubt. The group that once laughed through every night now stood divided in daylight, words sharper than truth. For the first time, Maya realized it didn't matter what was real. What people believed was reality now. Priya couldn't let it go. She needed to know who was lying. That night, she met Evan in the campus courtyard. The air was cold, their breaths visible under the dim lights. "Was it you?" she asked quietly. Evan smiled. Not kindly, but knowingly. "Everyone's so obsessed with finding someone to blame," he said. "Maybe the truth is, all of you wrote your own downfall." Then he walked away, leaving her in silence, the glow of his phone screen disappearing into the dark. That same night, Maya opened Dorm Life Unfiltered for the first time in days. The chat was quiet, except for one new message from the anonymous account. It read, "The truth isn't what you remember. It's what I show them." Then, one by one, every old message began reappearing. Deleted texts restored, hidden screenshots re-uploaded. She dropped her phone as her face filled the dim light. The game wasn't over. It was just starting again. By morning, the entire campus was talking again. The chat messages, the restored ones, were spreading everywhere, but they weren't the same as before. Words were rearranged, screenshots edited, timestamps altered. It looked real enough to destroy what little trust they had left. Maya knew it wasn't random anymore. Someone was controlling everything. She walked across the quad, feeling eyes on her, hearing whispers turn into stories. Truth had become a lie, and the lie had become gospel. Jordan tried to fix it. He cornered an IT major he knew from class, begging for help. Together, they traced the anonymous account, but the trail led to a campus Wi-Fi hub. Not a single device. Whoever did this knew how to hide. That night, Jordan sat alone in his dorm, scrolling through the fake screenshots over and over, trying to spot what wasn't real. He noticed one clue. A reflection, faint but visible, in one image. It wasn't Maya. It wasn't him. It was Evan. Priya rushed to Maya's dorm when she heard. The two sat side by side on the floor, their phones between them, the group chat open like a wound. Jordan joined minutes later, breathless. He told them about the reflection, about Evan. For a second, everything felt clear. They had their answer. But then Maya remembers words. "The truth is what I show them." What if he wanted them to find this clue? What if even this was part of his plan? Ingenious was part of his plan. They decided to confront him. The trio found Evan sitting by the old campus fountain, phone in hand, as if waiting. When Jordan threw the accusation, Evan didn't deny it. He just smiled. "You all gave me the material," he said. "I just rearranged the truth." Maya's voice trembled as she asked, "Why?" Evan looked up, calm, almost sad. "Because none of you ever saw me until I made you look." The words cut through them like static. It wasn't about revenge. It was about power. As they left the fountain, Maya realized the fight wasn't over. Evan hadn't posted the worst messages yet. He still held everything. "If he can twist our words," she said quietly, Then we need to take away his power. That night, they decided to end dorm life unfiltered forever. But as Maya tried to delete the group chat, her screen froze. A message appeared, one last taunt from Ibn Newell. You can delete the chat. You can't delete the story. They couldn't destroy the story, so they decided to rewrite it. The three met secretly in the media lab, Maya, Jordan, and Priya, surrounded by glowing screens and the low hum of computers. If Evan could twist the truth, maybe they could expose him with his own tactics. Maya gathered every file, every image, every trace of the leak. Her hands shook as she worked. Jordan's anger fueled him. Priya's logic steadied them. For the first time in weeks, they felt united. But somewhere deep down, Maya wondered, what if fighting fire with fire just made them burn faster? They started collecting evidence, timestamps, IP logs, deleted threads. Every clue pointed back to Evan's laptop. Jordan insisted they should send it to the dean, but Maya hesitated. She wanted Evan to confess, to face what he'd done. If we hand this over, he becomes a ghost again, she whispered. I want him to see us take him down. Her words cracked through the silence. They weren't just after justice anymore. They wanted power back. That evening, Evan received a message from Maya. Meet me in the library basement. Alone. He came. He always came when there was an audience, even if no one else knew it yet. The basement smelled of dust and old pages. Maya stood waiting by the flickering lights, phone recording in her pocket. When Evan walked in, he smiled. You finally decided to talk? She stepped forward. No, she said. I decided to listen. The air between them crackled like static, and the truth began to spill. Evan spoke freely. Too freely. He confessed that he never wanted to ruin them, just balance things. He hated how invisible he felt among them. Always the quiet one, while everyone else looked perfect on screen. People love drama, he said. I just gave them something to watch. Maya's heart sank. It wasn't hatred that drove him. It was loneliness, twisted into power. She let him keep talking, knowing every word was being recorded. When he finally looked up, her silence said everything. The next morning, the recording went live. Maya uploaded it anonymously to the same campus forum where the screenshots had once spread. The sound of Evan's voice admitting everything echoed through the feed. By noon, everyone had heard it. Students whispered again, but this time about the truth. Evan didn't fight it. He just disappeared, his dorm room empty by evening. The group chat was gone, too, deleted from all their phones. But as Maya stared at her blank screen, she felt no victory. Only silence. The kind that follows when noise finally ends. Weeks passed. The campus moved on as campuses do. New rumors, new distractions, new group chats. But for Maya, Jordan, and Priya, something had changed forever. They avoided mirrors, screens, even notifications. Every vibration felt like a ghost tapping on their nerves. They'd cleared their names, but not their scars. The truth was out there, yes, but so were the pieces of themselves they could never take back. Digital forever had a new meaning now. Jordan stopped posting online altogether. His phone stayed on silent, messages unopened. He told himself he was over it, but sometimes he'd scroll through old photos, screenshots of better nights, inside jokes, frozen laughter. He realized something painful. They hadn't just lost their reputations. They'd lost their trust in each other. And in a world where everything lived online, trust was the only thing that ever felt real. Priya tried to rebuild her routine. Classes, projects, study sessions. But the whispers never completely stopped. Sometimes she'd catch people glancing at her, then away, as if they still remembered the screenshots. She told herself she didn't care. Yet, when she looked at her own reflection in her phone's black screen, she saw someone changed. Stronger, maybe, but lonelier too. She turned the screen face down again. Some wounds just don't need An audience. Maya started journaling on paper instead of typing. No backups, no cloud, just ink, pages, and silence. She wrote everything. What happened, what she lost, what she learned. One night, she wrote something she hadn't allowed herself to feel until then. Forgiveness. Not for Evan, but for herself. She'd built a world out of messages, and it had crumbled. Now she was building one that couldn't be screenshot. The next morning, the sun rose over campus. Ordinary, golden, quiet. Maya walked past the fountain where it had all fallen apart. She stopped for a second, hearing the faint buzz of a phone nearby, and smiled. Not everything needed to be remembered. Some stories lived best in silence. She looked up, eyes soft, and whispered to herself, "We made a group chat for fun. It just reminded us how real life still hurts more." Then she kept walking, leaving her phone in her pocket and the past where it belonged.